There's a man who, when we were at Quezon, he had 62 men killed in his rifle company in 3 months. We only had 27 in mine, so I feel much better.
It's hard to know really where to start, particularly with only 10 minutes. So I would ask that the clock not start until I say about Jim that he won't say, and I can't outrun him anymore because I'm the poster child for not smoking. So if you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, quit. Because after I finish talking about Jim for a minute, if he comes after me, I can't outrun him anymore. But what he didn't tell you, and what I will, is that there is paper working its way up, down and around to upgrade his Silver Star to a Congressional Medal of Honor. Wow. So don't start chasing me. And it's well deserved, well documented. But you all know, Corporal, Lance Corporal, about our and your Perez that was nominated for a Medal of Honor posthumously and was awarded posthumously a Navy Cross. So it's not easy. It may not happen. But I would like to tell those few who are here with us today about that man and about his heroism, and you know his background, and he stands as a good example of courage, because the two men that he talked about on his own, he gathered up the necessary information, and both of their families received posthumous combat decorations. He did that on his own. So I think he deserves another round of applause. Yeah. And all of our deep thanks. So where do we start? Where do I start? When I think of courage, I would like to relate, if I have time, 2 or 3 instances, some cases like Jim did. First of all, I'd like to talk about one of the men that was in our company, Bravo 126, and his name was Jonathan Spicer. And what's important about Jonathan? Well, now and back in February of '68, he was killed in action. Unfortunately, it wasn't all that unusual. What is unusual about PFC Spicer was that he's a conscientious objector. At boot camp in San Diego, they told him to just hang on. His next command would take care of it. And his next command was that advanced infantry training. And they trained, and he told them that he was a conscientious objector. And he said his next command would take care of it. And that went on until he got off of an airplane under fire on the airstrip at Quezon. And guess what? He ended up being assigned to Bravo Company. And so when I talked to him, he said he was a conscientious objector. And I told him that we didn't really have any need in a rifle company for a conscientious objector. And then the dilemma became for me, what in the world are we going to do with it? We have a chaplain that I believe some of the chaplains here know, or at least know of, by name of Ray Stuckey, the retired chaplain corps lieutenant commander, United States Navy. He was our battalion chaplain. He agreed to take a Spicer as one of his assistants in combat in a closed area at Quezon. So they were very busy. Spicer volunteered to help carry stretchers of badly wounded Marines as they would land under artillery fire, load them, and if they were lucky, take off and get them back to Delta Med at Dong Ha before they died. Spicer was part of a team carrying a badly wounded Marine out to help load aboard an H-46 to be evacuated to Dong Ha in the middle of an artillery barrage. And you know where this story is going. The other 3 men, Marines, put the stretcher down. Spicer stayed and threw himself over a Marine, much like us here today. And wouldn't you know that? A piece of shrapnel went into his chest, through his back, because he had put himself and his body over that Marine on that stretcher. They tried to save his life. He was evacuated, but he died en route to Dong Ha. But it didn't stop there. His father was a minister. He truly was, I believe, in my heart, then and today, a conscientious objector. But a courageous, righteous, honorable, conscientious objector. His father's a retired minister. He and his mother received Spicer's posthumous Navy Cross. So I think of courage under fire, without a weapon, serving his country, serving his Marines, doing all that he could possibly do as a Marine without a weapon. I would say that that probably is a good illustration of courage, wouldn't you? Are there any folks here, besides my good friend, Bill Ryder, who is a Mescalero Apache? I don't know if you knew that or not, but he is. That has some Indian blood in them that are here. Anyone else? There's another example of courage that I hope I have time to share with you. And that is about Gilbert Wall, off of the reservation up in Browning, Montana. Gilbert was taken away from his family, as Indians were sometime up on the reservation, and was raised in a school. Enlisted in the Marine Corps. He was a 81 FO attached to Bravo Company for a long time. He was wounded first, he and his radio operator, in June of 1968 down on Route 9. Gilbert took a through-and-through chest, just missing his heart. His radio operator, Bruce T-Bone Jones, took an AK-47 round through his throat. When I got to Vietnam in the end of August of '68, this was in June of '68 that they were both wounded. A helicopter came in, they got off, they didn't go home. They healed up just enough for them to send them back to Quezon. Both were again subsequently wounded. What's unique about Gilbert is that he was in another ambush on the 25th of February. 26 were killed, the others were wounded, mostly all bad enough to be evacuated. Gilbert Wall carried his wounded lieutenant some 400 or 500 yards back to the outside wire at Quezon, where he passed out from exhaustion because he would put the lieutenant down, fire his M16, call in danger close 81 fire, hearing his radio, and did that several times. That's why he passed out at the outside strand of wire, outside of a minefield. His lieutenant was hit with the equivalent of a .50 caliber machine gun through both femoral arteries. Lieutenant Don Jacques bled to death before Gilbert could get him back. Gilbert rotated back home, made sergeant, and re-enlisted to go back to Vietnam. Got out, went to college, worked for 30 years for Mobil Oil as an accountant, retired and went back to the reservation in Browning, in Browning, Montana, and helped start the junior college there. They couldn't get a hold of him one morning, and they went in his office, and he had died of a heart attack at his desk. What is unique is that his tribe recognized Gilbert. His tribal name was Gilbert Many Kills.
Wow.
The name that those up north Indians gave in honor, in recognition of his courage. Gilbert Many Kills. There's one other that I wanted to discuss, perhaps maybe next time. But both of those men, for two entirely different reasons, in my mind, until the day that I die, symbolize courage and dedication and righteousness and honor. Spicer, a Marine without a weapon that gave his life for someone else, his courage. And Gilbert Many Kills, who carried his lieutenant off the battlefield, not knowing that he was dead, and reaped terrible retribution on his way back, represents courage, the kind in most countries that would have been recognized with a Congressional Medal of Honor or the equivalent. Gilbert was recommended for a high decoration, and by those, it sounds familiar, on higher up that weren't there, was awarded a Bronze Star with a Combat V. I deeply appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this afternoon. It's an honor and a privilege to be before our young companions at arms. We just love you men so much. We respect you so much. Just know that wherever you go from here, whether it's home at the end of your enlistment, or whether you pack your sea bag and go to some of those places that we read about, just know, just please know that our love and our prayers, our admiration, and our deep respect for who you are and what you do, and our prayers that you come back, go with you. So thank you again. God bless you. Stay safe and take care of each other. Thank you very much.
And what does a civilian do to develop courage?
Tom, I don't know. I don't think I could answer that. My life experience started out at about the age of some of these Marines that are here in front of us today. And I guess I would have to say what Jim said, that my understanding and my grasp of courage is in that vein, because that's all I know. But it's there in all of us, and we each, I think, at the moment that it's called upon, will find our sisters and our brothers that you will rise to do whatever the occasion requires, or die trying. And that's how I feel. Perhaps not a good answer, but that's the best I can do today. Anybody else?